They're the ones that created this crash, not us. Now, granted, there were some homeowners who received loans, the so-called wire loans, fixed rate mortgages, and lots of other things. But there are a lot of us out there who are honest home buyers who did everything right. And from my perspective, we shouldn't have to shoulder the brunt of this recession and the brunt of this burst housing bubble on our shoulders alone. This is a much bigger problem than just what rests on our shoulders. Since 2007, Jennifer and I have lost over $100,000 in equity. We didn't buy too much house. We don't live a life of debt. All our credit cards were paid off monthly. We didn't carry credit card debt month to month. We only used the credit cards for expenses we would normally pay cash for. We don't use our credit cards except when absolutely necessary. Now we're living a cash life. Both our cars have been paid for over a year. We paid off the second car, and the 4Runner has been paid off for several years. We had 3 to 4 months' salary saved in the bank like we're supposed to, in addition to other savings. And if it hadn't been for an unexpected job loss, the housing mortgage crisis, and the worst recession since 1929, we wouldn't be in the situation that we're in now. Our house currently is worth $50,000 less than what we owe. So just from a strategic standpoint, it doesn't make sense for us to stay in this house. I began asking the bank for help long before we ran out of money. Even before I was officially unemployed, I asked the bank for help, and they've been real slow. They've beat around the bush, and most recently, even though we're on a payment moratorium, which ends in a week or two, they have told us that as long as our only income is unemployment insurance, they're unwilling to work with us. And it seems as if they're operating on this conception that families have to have two incomes in order to survive, which long ago has been proven to be incorrect, that families on a single income live just the same standard of living as those who are on a dual income. Um, it isn't fair to ask 7 million common homeowners who face foreclosure like we do to bear the brunt of this crisis. And the whole time, these big banks and lenders are getting record profits. The last couple quarters, these banks have made billions of dollars in profits. They're giving their executives huge bonuses. They benefited from the bailout from the federal government, and they paid that off so that your hands are not tied anymore. But in the meantime, they're coming to us and telling us if we don't pay our bills, we're being immoral, we should be ashamed of ourselves, and that we have no right to do that. It is not immoral, it is not unethical for those of us who are in this situation to default on our loans. It is really simple mathematics. And from what I can tell, these banks have a matrix that they're operating on, and they're trying to decide where they will make the most money. Would it be on foreclosing and selling our house later on the open market? Or would it be on adjusting our mortgage, maybe the interest rate, maybe the principal? And if we fall within a certain range on the matrix, they might work with us, but if not, they'll just take our house and sell it on the open market. And we feel very powerless. There's not much that we can do. And if we didn't have so much emotionally invested in this, we'd probably just walk away from it because financially it doesn't make much sense to stay here. But we believe this is a good house for us. Um, it's a great place to raise kids. We like the house. We've been here for over 2 years. We would like to stay, but I'm not sure that we'll be able to. I, it's really hard to tell what is going to happen in the future. But again, what I'm saying is it's not our fault that this recession happened. It's not our fault that the mortgage lenders and the housing bubble burst and the mortgage lenders were engaging in unethical behavior, but somehow society thinks that those of us who are in this situation should bear the brunt. And I'm just saying that isn't true. It it isn't our responsibility to bail out the economy. And but I do understand where the federal government doesn't want to get too involved because it could open up a whole hornet's nest. I also understand where the mortgage lenders and their stockholders are in this to make money. So now that we're in this mess, we just need to find a way out. But I'm just asking people to not look at me and tell me that I'm unethical because I've missed some house payments or may default on my loan. We're doing the best we can here. Some calculators tell me that as I've looked online for resources, they tell me that it is going to take 19 years for us to recoup the losses that we've experienced over the last 3 years. I just wonder if that is the best thing for my family, to spend the next 19 years trying to recoup losses, or whether we just need to hit the reset button and start over.